The first experience that I had was before I heard that there was even a history of the gym or anything going on with it. Mr. Blaylock, at that time superintendent, had me to paint the gym floor when they were redoing the gym floor. We were kind of in a crunch to get it finished very quickly, so I was up here late one evening. It's about 1:30 in the morning. Was laying on the floor. I always kind of get one with my work, and was laying on the floor, and as I was laying there painting, I could hear something walking across the floor. And again, I didn't know that there was a history or anything. And it started at the corner close to where the trainer's area is, over at the, I guess, the northeast corner, and walking back towards the southwest corner, towards the girls' dressing room. And that's where I was laying right in the middle of it. And I could hear the footsteps. It's just that old hardwood floor sound of footsteps on hardwood as it was creaking as it was walking across towards where I was laying. And as I painted, I could hear it, and it got closer and closer, and actually walked right across the middle of where I was, and then continued to walk until it got to the far end of the gym court. And then that was it. And as I said, I didn't know the history of it, so I just thought, well, that's odd, and kept painting. I was painting the lobby and was on top of the ladder, painting the area over the concession stand area. Could hear some things behind me, because you always had that feeling that you're being watched. Kept turning around, and nothing was there, of course, but I just had that cold chill. That was late in the evening too. That was more like about 9 o'clock when I'd started. So about 10:30 when I decided to finish, started walking towards the boys' dressing room to wash out my brushes and get everything ready. And I could hear my footsteps on the tile as I was going to the bathroom. I got to the bathroom door and stopped, and I could still hear the footsteps coming behind me. So kind of weirded me out, went in, washed my brushes out, and left quickly.
I started coaching at Nettleton about 6 or 7 years ago, and the first year that I was here, we would come up a lot on Sundays or weekends, practices and things like that, and a lot of times I'd be the first one here or maybe the last one to leave. And my first experience with the weirdness, I guess, that goes on in this gym was, where my office is located, up on the rail up there. And I'm sitting in my office minding my own business, only one here, and all of a sudden I hear this clink, 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 clink on the rail, like metal hitting the rail. And I thought, oh, someone's here, So I stick my head out the door, and there's no one. So I thought, well, that's kind of odd. And I thought, no, I didn't really hear that. So then I go back in and sit down, and it was about time for practice to start. So I thought, people should be coming in. I was expecting one of the other coaches to come along pretty soon, and so I just assumed that, either someone was there and they kind of playing a prank on me, or maybe I was just hearing things. And so I sat back down and started back to work, and all of a sudden I heard it again. That's kind of odd, so I got up and looked again. Nothing. So about the third time, I decided to wait outside for everybody else to come to practice, because I was pretty freaked out about it. Then just recently, like this year, I was up here on a Friday night getting things for a Saturday tournament, and went up to my office and I heard somebody in the weight room. So I just thought, I know a lot of the coaches have been lifting on their own, and maybe some of the kids are coming up and lifting, and so I thought, oh, there's just somebody in the weight room. And I walked over to the staircase, to the door, and there's nobody in the weight room. And so I thought, then again, hearing things, it's the air conditioner, because the air conditioner kicks on, it kind of sounds funny sometimes. I thought, I'm just hearing things. And so I went back upstairs, and the second time I heard the weights clink together, I left the gym because there was no explaining that one.
I work American Legion baseball during the summer. I was up here one summer night having games, and I decided to come into the gym and lift. So I walked through the side door that faces the baseball field, and as I come into the gym, I can hear the distinct sound in the weight room of weights hitting the weight room floor, like someone has been lifting, they've taken the weights off and they drop them on the floor. Well, someone else is in here lifting. I make my way up the stairs and I notice as I get closer, the door's closed and there's no light coming from underneath the door. That's odd. So turn the doorknob, it's locked, put my key in, open the door, and it's, you know, you hear people say that when they see a ghost, sometimes that they have like a cold rush, like a cold air that comes over them. And this was before we had air conditioning in the gym. There was no air conditioning in the weight room. I open the door, and when I turn on the light, it's just a cold wave of air just rushes out of the weight room.
Maybe last season, I left my cell phone on my desk one evening, and we were all kind of standing out front, and it was getting dusky dark, and I was gonna have to go back into the dark gym, you know, by myself, and I was standing out front with some other people, and I said, I'm not scared, I'll go in there by myself, don't worry about it. And then I started halfway up the steps going towards my office and heard something in the black hole, like fall. And there was nobody in the black hole. So I ran upstairs and grabbed my cell phone and ran down the stairs. I don't think I touched all the steps on the way down.
Another night during the summer, I'm up here with American Legion Baseball. And as I come in the same side door, I walk onto the floor, and when a washer is running and it gets off balance and you can hear the tumbler start making that loud, I hear that noise, and I hear it at first, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. I thought, there's no one in here washing laundry during the summer. So I go down to the boys' locker room, open the door, and I can still hear it. I turn on the light, I walk in, the lid's open on the washer. I walk over to it, it's empty, it's dry inside, it hasn't been running, but you know, I walk back out and I start walking back down the floor and I hear it again. And by this time I'm thinking, this is really strange. So being a dummy, I turn around and I go back to the locker room a second time, same scenario. I hear it the third time and I don't walk onto the floor, I just walk out the back doors of the gym. I remember one night we got back to the gym from Batesville. It was in the dead of winter, extremely cold outside. We get back to the gym. Of course, you know how it is coaching junior high. The kids always hang around. Their parents are always late picking them up. And so we were here till almost 11:45 by the time the last kid left. And so I had already started the laundry. I go into, the last kid leaves, I'm here by myself. So I go into the locker room to change the laundry from the washer to the dryer, and I go into the locker room, take care of that, and as I'm walking out, I've already locked the doors, everything's locked down, no one else is here, it's around midnight. And I hear a basketball hitting the stairs that lead up to the coach's office. It's really weird. And then I see that thing roll across the floor. And as it's rolling across the floor, it's not taking a straight line, it's kind of rolling, and it starts rolling towards me.
I guess the strongest incidents that I had, though, was the day after Thanksgiving. Along that same line, they'd been renovating the gym. My wife and daughters had gone shopping day after Thanksgiving, and I came up here to work. So this was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was in the boys' dressing room in the back corner there and was painting the logos, the Nettleton logos on the walls. And I knew that there were some weird things that had happened in the past, and with that in mind, I left all the doors open and made sure that all the lights were on, where if someone came in, it wouldn't scare me to death, but they would know that I was back there. And so I had the door to the dressing room propped open, and my back facing the door, towards the door. And I kept hearing footsteps. Sounded like, you know, a grown man, a heavy person walking across the floor. You could hear the boards creaking, but it got right to the door and it stopped. And the first time that it did it, I kind of turned back and looked, thinking I would see Coach McCord or Coach Smith or someone standing there. That would have scared me. That's scary enough seeing one of those guys, but I just kept thinking that I was going to hear, or there's going to be someone there, and they did it maybe 4 or 5 times. And then it stopped. And the next thing, I just continued to paint. And the next thing I heard, the bleachers were extended out to the court, and I could hear someone walk up the bleachers. So I thought surely one of the coaches came in, was going up, thought it was McCord going up to his office. And so I walked out to tell him that I was in there. And it was right over my head. I could hear the steps on the metal bleachers. And so I got out to try to find one of the coaches. No one was there. Came back in, stood there another 5 minutes or so, and it happened again. And it was just like it was walking right across the bleachers from where I was. And again, walked back out there, nothing. Came back and painted some more. And 5 minutes later or so, it was just like every so often it was happening. So I walked back out there, and this time I took my brush, took everything, and I leaned up against the wall there by the black hole area. And I just waited because it had been happening so regular, I thought that it would continue after I got out there. I leaned against the wall, and I stood there about 10 minutes, never heard anything, because I thought if it was an air conditioning unit kicking on, something like that, I would know where the sound was coming from, at least to ease my mind. 10 minutes or so, nothing. Walked back into the dressing room, got next to the wall where I was painting, and this time as it started walking up the bleachers, or that sound, this time it was a stomp. And as it would stomp, it would just shake the whole section of bleachers, and you could just feel like it was shaking above you. And so to me it seemed like whatever it was wanting me out of there. And I mean, that's been 5 years ago, I'm getting chill bumps telling the story, but it just kept getting louder. And so it was more like stomping. And so this time it was not just where it was stepping, but when it got to the top of the bleachers at the topmost point, it was just jumping up and down, and everything was shaking. So I got all my stuff together and I left, and so I've not been back.
Can you think of a rational scientific explanation for what you experienced?
For what I experienced, no. If it was somebody playing a joke on me, I understand that. I'm a joker too. I understand it and all. But that's where I was trying in my mind to find some reason that was causing that sound. But with I guess the violent nature of the stomps on the bleachers, could not find anything, nothing that I could think of to cause that.
I think with a lot of people, it may be they've heard the stories over the years, and you can get on websites now and read about the haunting of the Nettleton Gym and, the rustling of the leaves early in the morning and that kind of stuff. And I think sometimes in our minds, we've heard so many stories that if we come into the gym and we do hear a noise, we take that as, well, there's got to be a ghost in here because I've heard all the stories. But some of the experiences that I've had have been, I don't think that it's been in my, I've heard the things, I've seen the ball rolling across the floor, and it should roll to the other side, but it makes an arc out in the middle of the floor and starts rolling toward me. That's really weird. So no, I don't believe in ghosts, but it's really hard not to when you experience and hear the experiences of people that aren't just telling stories just to be telling stories.
I guess at the beginning I always just assumed that it was something more scientific. I think more that direction. I know that usually there's an explanation for things, but I know that I don't come up here at night by myself anymore.
I'm one of those people too that you hear stories, you hear people experience different things, and I'm very skeptical. I think, yeah, right, I understand. But then when it happens to you, you start to think of it a little differently.
My name is Brutus. I'm 17, and I'm a zombie. People are always under the common misconception that a zombie is a soulless, brain-hungry monster who can't complete a full sentence and just wants to bite everyone. In reality, not all of us are like that. I'm just a regular teenager who enjoys human flesh and occasionally has a problem with my limbs falling off. But anyway, this is my story of my life as a teenage zombie. I don't have many friends. Well, none actually. But sometimes people talk to me, like this one time when...
Hey, you're Bruta, right?
It's Brutus.
Oh, right, Brutus. Well, I was wondering if maybe you'd go vote for me for homecoming queen?
Sure, yeah.
Thanks, it's right over there. It's right over there.
I didn't even know her name, but she was the first girl to ever talk to me. So I voted for her. That was 2 years ago. The pretty girl hasn't said a word to me since that day. I found out her name was Allie. I thought about Allie every day for a year. That's 365 days. After nothing for a year, I decided to lower my standards. I saw this idea on Google. This plan was sure to work. How was I supposed to know that this girl could do a backflip? But of course, this girl's backflipping rejection didn't stop there. The next semester, we ended up in the same gym class. Yeah! High school gym class is somewhere that no zombie wants to be.
Dodgeball!
I mean, really? I had just gotten that arm last Christmas.
Brutus, time for dinner! Brutus, I made your favorite for dinner tonight.
Great, honey.
So how was everyone's day?
Well, today some kids are playing Monkey in the Middle.
Great, little buddy. I'm glad you're making friends.
Yeah, they were using my arm.
Oh. Well, how was your day, Brutus?
You know, school.
Well, so how's Jim?
It's alright.
You know, son, you just need to be more aggressive. When I was your age, I really ate him up. Literally.
My parents don't really understand that being a zombie in high school sucks these days. I guess things were a little different when they were my age.
You're like totally awesome in your game tonight.
Thanks, Dudette. My dad says I need to be more aggressive. Hey, let's work on that new line dance.
Well, with that, good night, everyone. I hope your life is better than mine. Being a rotting body and all, zombies have a problem with odor. It seems like no matter what I use, nothing ever works. That was a terrible movie. Why does everyone love vampires so much and hate zombies? Speaking of love, it's February and it seems like everyone in school is in it. You're never going to guess what happened today. I was just walking past the office. I had happened to look up to see the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. You could say my life has gotten a little better over these past few weeks. Or a lot.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.